Okay, so now we're going to render some things in our thing. Just, right now we have sort of these awful gray walls. We're going to figure out how to put textures on them and such. So first I'm going to highlight the wall. Now remember, if you don't highlight all the walls, it'll only do the ones that you highlight. So in the Object Info palette, if I hit the Render tool, then it'll say Mode by Object Part, Overall Class Texture. Now I'm going to hit overall, and then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to hit texture. And now I'm going to be able to pick the texture that I want. And there's all sorts of different things here. You can roll through them in the library, but there's different flooring options. There's concrete. There's I'm going to do a nice brick, I think. Now notice it only did the top of the wall. So in order to do the sides of the wall, I have to go over to this part and hit left, texture, brick, right, texture, brick. And now I have a brick room. That's kind of neat. What if I want to do something on the floor? Well, we didn't do it in the last video, but what you should really do is go and make a slab. And the way you do that is you hit the house button here, and you hit slab. We're going to go to 2D view here, and we're just going to highlight these 4 walls. And now we have a slab. So I just hit the enter key. Now you'll notice this, did that just do that in 2D? In 2D, this is going to be above this, so you're going to want to send this to back, and now it'll be in the right place. But in the rendering, it's just a white box. So if you hit the slab down here, this is just the floor that we made. And same thing in the render, Object Info, render. And we hit overall texture. Now that made that brick, which probably isn't what you want. But there are some flooring options that are not too bad. Make this a nice wood floor. Very dark event room, but here we are. This looks more like a high school something that was set up. Anyway, so this is our space. We've now rendered the floor, we've rendered the walls, and you can do the same thing with the stage and also your model pieces that you've rendered. So you can do something like, if I make a box and then hit Command E to extrude, and I'm going to extrude it 5 feet. This uses the same techniques in the Object Info palette to render it. So if I add a texture to it, I do that. I go into OpenGL to render. So you can do this with your objects and parts of your objects as well, if you want to add color to your sculptures. Now the attributes palette works sometimes, but it really is mainly for how everything is viewed in 2D. So if you're looking at things in 3D, you really want to use the render option in the Object Info palette to change how things are seen. But this is basics of the event space. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to plate this, and we'll talk about that in the next video. So that was rendering.